What's going on, guys? Nio has hit 789 in price, getting over our most recent price target. The last real price target that we had marked up on the channel, if you guys see, that 770 was our price target stemming off that last descending triangle where we got that breakout. We've really just been continuing from that motion out. Found that floor around $3, better support around that 338. We get that very nice movement out of the smaller triangle pattern that we've seen within this long-term descending triangle pattern. Break out of that. The next day, break out of this long-term stemming from 770, big descending triangle, leading to a nice move to the upside. Find a little bit of a pennant structure, continue the movement, find another resistance structure, continue the movement, and we've been seeing a nice continuation recently with a little bit of back and forth, but nevertheless continuing our movement and now hitting and getting above that 770, guys. So very good signs on Nio here. If we take it back from what we've been analyzing, guys, that first descending triangle we saw before this one, we got around 100% movement to the upside after breaking out of that structure, which then led us to a long drawn out another descending triangle, which took some time and brought us all the way to the floor of 338, that being a bit lower than this past support at this descending triangle. And then we broke out of that, guys, leading to this very nice move to the upside. Really the first price target stemming around that $5 level, hit that, continued up, broke through that 641, continued up, and now broke through that 770, guys. So all our price targets have really been hit from this movement. We've gotten around a 120% movement to the upside roughly. And now we'd be looking at this micro resistance at 926 being the next price target, as well as that $8 psychological level. So we're seeing a serious up pattern, big move to the upside, a little bit of chop, big move to the upside, very small pullback, and continue move to the upside. Looking like we are going to be continuing our movement. If we go on the daily time chart, guys, textbook stuff. I mean, this is a beautiful stair step pattern to the upside. There is no real pullback within this equation after breaking out of this long-term descending triangle stemming off that 770, guys. Price has this nice move, and then it gets really shut down quite aggressively, pretty much the same fashion as we saw this first movement to the upside. And we chop a little bit between the zones of 446 and roughly that 520 area with no clear control, lots of back and forth. And then you do see that the buyers try to escape this resistance once here, twice there, leading to a continued movement to the downside, getting lower than before. And that's where we find this newfound descending triangle type of pattern where we get tighter within this resistance. If we're zooming in here, guys, tightest price action that we've seen on Nio. So we're bouncing up and down, still quite volatile. Then we get super, super tight. Someone's got to win here, guys. We're meeting up with this newfound resistance. This support of 338 is holding very, very nicely. That's where you see a nice break of that. Continuation breaking of this long-term resistance, getting a very nice movement to the upside, guys. Really not finding that resistance until 520. Pennant structure, textbook. Sellers try to make their move to the downside, breaking the support. Right away, buyers buy it up when they have to. Break through this resistance, continue to the upside, another explosive movement. Get caught up in another little flag type of structure. Once again, sellers try to make their move here. We see that buyers step right back in, break the resistance, gap up, and continue to the upside, where recently, guys, we've been seeing a little bit of chop between 691 and 762. If you guys have been keeping up to date with the channel, that's what we've been covering. A little bit different here, though, guys. We don't see an obvious kind of pennant structure or a flag structure. We don't have some real concrete resistance. You could possibly say that we have some sloppy resistance right here where we kind of broke out of. You could definitely be arguing that point, but this was more or less some chop sideways after getting up in a volatile move. This was just volatile chop, in my opinion. And then a continuation to the upside where we're kind of just continuing this breakout level move, stemming off of 770, but, more recent times stemming off this break of this kind of flag type of structure here. And now we've actually touched the $8 psychological level where had a little bit of selling pressure, but we held up quite nicely, closing at that 789. So very much so in a volatile type of formation still, guys. I think we look really nice to the upside still. There's going to be some pressure from the sellers since 770 was a very major point being the top of that triangle pattern. And past that, we haven't had a lot of price action. If we quickly take it back to the weekly, guys, we really don't have much price action to go off of, right? Past that 770, we see that 926 was a little bit of resistance right here, leading to the further descent, but really not that much holding the buyers back. If we can fully claim over that 770 level and possibly use that as some support, and they continue to the upside in this volatile movement that we've been seeing. Definitely a strong possibility of that. And this is one of the strongest daily charts that I'm currently seeing in the market, guys. We're continuing very nicely as long as we can continue to win these battles, and buyers really look out for that 770 to turn into some very nice support. That's what you'd really want to be looking out for to look for this continued move to the upside. Could see the sellers try to yank us back down a little bit like they're so used to doing, and then watch the buyers step in here, reclaiming that level. Use that support, continue trending to the upside where we'd be looking at those $8 psychological level type of territory. Now, if I take you guys on the hourly, we see a very obvious type of formation here. So we break out of this flag, very nice volatile move to the upside. This is where we find ourselves in a chop zone for a few trading days. We're bouncing between 691 and roughly that 762. We get a test here, and on that third real test, we break through. We do see some selling pressure, but buyers hold us up pretty nicely. A little bit of back and forth, but we do end up claiming that level of 762 as some support, as we see right here. And then we trend above that dreaded spot of 770, and I actually don't see a ton of selling pressure once we get over that. Just nice green wide bar, continuation, and a smaller sort of a red hammer candle. Very small candle, look, guys. It makes sense to see some selling pressure here, but we see that the buyers have gotten stronger each sequence that we've tested it in the recent hourly chart. And to me, I'm looking for a nice support grab of 778. Even that 762 would be a nice support grab once again, just to solidify that spot, since that was our resistance that we were battling. Really solidify that spot, use that as support once again, continue trending to the upside where you'd be looking for that 770 to fully get claimed over. That's if the sellers try to yank us down a little bit, which would make sense and definitely a practical thing to see. Just want for the buyers to hold at least above that 762 and start to use that as some very strong, solid base support. So that's all I got for you guys. We definitely remain very bullish on Nio. There's no signs of a pullback or signs of real weakening within the stock. We've seen a very nice stair step pattern to the upside, and we are still in the breakout level move after breaking out of that long-term descending triangle that we saw. So all good signs here. We remain bullish on the channel. Targets that we were looking at right now is obviously that 920 rough area. But before that, you definitely want to see that 762 as well as that 770 dreaded level. Turn into some nice support. Continue to the upside. Start battling and seeing price action within the $8 type of psychological level and go from there. But I think we're looking very nice, and we do remain in a breakout level type of movement here, stemming off of this break of resistance. Now, let me know your price predictions in the comments below, both short term and long term. Where do you guys see the stock going? What positions do you guys have? I appreciate you guys watching to the end of the video. If you guys enjoyed, make sure to like and subscribe for more content just like this one. And as always, guys, trade smart. I'll see you all in the next one.